Evening again, folks. I'm going to do a little test run on this radio right here and explain some things about it, but right quick I want to get back to this little problem right here. It's off, it's plugged in, but this is the problem area right here. See that? They have that thing screwed in with two sheet metal screws. I keep knocking my voltmeter off. It's off, it's plugged in, but got our trusty flute on DC voltage, which we're going to flip the amp on very carefully. And look, just as soon as I turn it on, if I touch the top of that capacitor with the lead, you see that? 570 DC volts. And it's just warming up. Rocking between 580 and 570. Anyway, let's turn that death trap off. And look here, I just turned it off. You see it's off. Look at the voltage bleeding down. I was lucky that I didn't get bit when I picked that thing up. The death trap's off, it's unplugged, it's out of the way. This is the star of the show right here. Ain't she a beauty? I honestly think that this radio may have been a demo in a store, because I mean, you can tell by the shape of it, it's supposed to be turned over this way. It's clean. It doesn't have a scratch on it. I mean, not a scratch on it. I wired a temporary mic plug into the bottom of the radio. You can see it coming out of the bottom of the radio here, because this radio it doesn't take this pin. This is a 4-pin. It takes a 5-pin. I have one coming. I have two of these radios, of course. I always buy extras. Can't really explain how nice this radio is. Signal meter works good on it. Show you a little output on it. Audio. So very, very, very neat radio. Lafayette HE-20c. Has killer audio. By the way, while I'm thinking about it, I'm looking for some of these large crystals. I need a 27105 transmit crystal. It takes the large crystals. One reason I think this was a demo, it had just a white tab under this cover where the crystals go. I'll show you that in a minute. With a list of channels on it, and it had like 3 channels in it. I think somebody might have been using it as a demo in a shop or something, maybe. Maybe even, you know, in a store or something. Has these radios are like the old Johnson radios. They have, this is your it has a crystal, which is the X tool, and this is the tune, which is your manual tuner, VFO. This is your crystal side. You have 8 selections, so it's an 8-channel crystal, 23-channel VFO. This, your receive, is separate from your transmit. With that being said, say right now we're on channel 1, and up here we have a spot off and on. We flip that spot on, you tune this channel selector, and when you get a peak reading and it starts to fall off, you'll go back to the peak. That tells you that the manual side is lined up to the crystal side. You can leave this to transmit, you leave it in the crystal side, because this radio it transmits on these crystals. the receive, it'll receive 23 channels, but it'll only transmit on 8 different channels of your selection. Being here, the very back, that's your crystal slots for the transmit. The very front, that's your crystal slots for the receive. As you can see, it's still got the original 3 crystals in it. Unfortunately, we can't use this on it, and I'll tell you why. The manual side of these radios are set up, like I said, they're separate from the transmit, and they are set up to receive the frequency you're on. For instance, channel 1 would be 26965. So if I program this little VFO to transmit on 27965, it's going to send a signal back through the receive on this radio. This is a VFO RF generator. It generates a signal into the radio. Some of you are probably saying, well, why does it work on the Brownings? Because the Brownings has a offset in the transmit frequency. You're programming this to send a 16 megahertz signal into the transmit side of those Brownings, and it's mixing with the mixer crystal to make it 27105 if you're on channel 12, which on this is 16.410. And you have a different receiver. So you're not actually, the reason it works on the Brownings is when you key the microphone up, you're transmitting on 16.410. The transmitter is compensating for the rest of the frequency and making it transmit on 27105. So your transmitter is actually doing half the work. This injects a signal into any radio you put it in. If you hook it to this and put it on channel 1, 26965, it'll inject the signal into this radio, and this receive tuner will pick it up, and it'll have this meter pegged out. So somebody may be able to figure that out, not me. But I just wanted to make a video on this radio. It's got good receive. They had a little bit of conditions a while ago. Let's see if we still do. Give you a little sample of the receive if they're still talking. And they're not. Usually, we've been getting some northern skip here in southeast Tennessee, and it's like the band's quiet this afternoon. It was that way all day yesterday, but that northern skip, if you've never tried to talk on channel 12 when that northern skip's running on channel 11 and 15, it can get pretty brutal at times. But speaking of northern skip, while I'm on the subject, before I forget about it, in the previous video I mentioned a sideband club, sideband net that I happened upon channel 16 a few days back. It's actually last week. For those of y'all that are interested, I'm sure they wouldn't mind you joining in. Their Facebook page is Southeast Wisconsin Old Tube and Classic CB Radio Net. Again, it's Southeast Wisconsin Old Tube and Classic CB Radio Net, and that's on Facebook. Look them up. He runs a video of the net, or he did last week, although I wanted to hear what my tram sounded like on sideband up there in southeast Wisconsin, but for some reason I couldn't get any sound. But it's pretty neat. It's good to see that there's more people, and I run into more and more people in DX that's interested in these old radios, and it's really, really good to see. It's you know, can't beat the quality sound of a tube radio. I don't care what anybody says, versus a versus especially the newer transistor radios. And I'm not against, I've said it before, I'm not against new radios. I think they're great, if that's what you want. Me, I'll take one of these tube radios 10 times over one of those, the newer transistor radios, just for the audio and the receive. And like I said, these radios are a beautiful thing. Look how shiny the speaker is on that thing. Folks, you don't see radios that's made in 1962, 63, 64. Very seldom do you see them in this condition. And this radio is original. It has not been redone. I mean, you look at the inside of it. So yeah, there you have it. Star of the show is the Lafayette HE-20c. 8-channel / 23-channel Citizens band transceiver. Thanks for joining in. That'll do it for this evening. Y'all have a blessed evening. Shoe Shine Boy, Vintage CB Radio at its best. See ya.